to welcome this international workshop on research data analysis using SPSS. Yesterday, I hope that you enjoy the basic things of research and statistics. Today, we are going to see what are the types are available in research. We have the number of variables in statistics. In research oriented on a view of research, we are using some of the particular variables certainly. So in this lecture, I am going to deal some types of variables. Just I share my screen. Types of variables. Before we are going to see the types of variables, what is a variable? When we say one thing as variable and so on. Okay. Anybody guess what is a variable? What is a variable? Participants? What is a variable? The name itself says the thing or a matter or an event or a data carries able to carry various values on it. That is called variable. So the thing that is changeable at place to place, at person to person, at event to event. That is called variable. Suppose for a research purpose, some researchers say a variable can be considered as an operationalist construct or a particular property in which the research is interested. Some of says a variable refers to a property whereby the members of a group, okay, suppose you're dealing or suppose you're working on sampling, we have referred this definition. Variable refers to a property whereby the members of a group being studied or different from each or one another. But what is the prime focus of this variable? How we identify the variables? In which way we define the variable in correct manner? Normally, the variable is a symbol, is a name, or it's a property. But the feature of the variable is it carries different values taken from one particular set of values at different times or a different circumference. This is called variable. Where we define the variable, that place is nothing but the domain of that variable. Suppose the researchers might decide to subvalues educated or uneducated, he is studying PhD or not. So these are nothing but the variables. The subvalues of attributes or the subvalues of the variable is nothing but attributes. So we have categorized the variables based on this nature. You can divide it by a attribute name. So this is called variable. We have number of definition in text, but we have a proper definition is that event or that property or that number or that symbol carries so many values at sometimes at some circumference. This is variable. Okay, already we said this variable is one property, the variable is a symbol, and so on. Why we need variable in research? This is very, very important because in research, we are go with some theory part, we are go with some calculation, we can interpret some ideas or some results from our data. That's what we are doing. Why the variable recurs here? And how do you connect the variable in research? That is nothing but the usage of variable. It's a very important thing is the variable carries different values. Already I said. So it is applicable to mathematics, but how we use this variable in theoretical concept? How the researchers combine the theoretical part with this variable. That is important because already we said variable is a symbol, variable is an event, variable is in property, already exists in the world. But theoretical concept is an idea. So researcher makes certain assumption to relate the two. So assumption. These assumptions are guide, put a knot, a theory to the real world. That is the interpretation. We will give the interpretation. The variable or tangible. You can fix the variable as a duration, frequency, rate, intensity, and so on. Items, we are in a questionnaire, we have so many items. According to the nature of our research, we form some questions. According to the questions, we can form the variables. According to the questions, we can form the scaling. So the variables are related to the theoretical concept by means of the operational definitions used to measure the concept. That is very, 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 very important. The variables are related to the theoretical concept by means of operational definitions used to measure the concept. Today, we received plenty of data from various medias. We can get the data in any particular field from various sites. We can get the data from WhatsApp, mail, Facebook, Twitter, and common Gmail search engine, and so on. But these data are considered as a raw data. We couldn't get the data in particular manner, not in the sequence. Because when we come with the technology, we are create some dustbin in our phone or in our laptop. Whatever we get, we all put it into that. So we couldn't collect any data as per our desire. So how do you filter the data? That is so important. When we talk about the big data, when we talk about the data analysis, so many technical computing comes over and over nowadays. When we use the computing, we just go with variables. So first you convert your real value problem or your theoretical problem or whatever it is, all put into the data. Now you have the raw data. According to the raw data and according to our desire, we can split our raw data into some category. Here our variable comes. So categorical or qualitative data set one side and quantitative data one side. What is the categorical and quantitative data? We will see later, as well as the quantitative variable is also we will see later. So using this categorical or qualitative data set, we can make frequency table. Here, the qualitative data set obtain the modified range and then divide into several classes. So come to make a frequency table. Here we divide the several classes as per our desire. There is no restriction. There is no restriction. There is no limitation. Each class splitted by certain percent. No. We have no restriction to divide our classes. Next one is, suppose you want to put the given data set into pictorial representation, because when we talk about the data analysis, the final stages, data visualization. What you can use any method of filtering, any type of computational, any type of technology, any type of technical computation you use, but at the end of the result is showed by picture. That is very effective. That is very effective. So graphical representation of a data again can be split into two categories. So from the graphical, suppose we have one data in terms of graphics, in terms of picture, again we go with this categorical or a qualitative and quantitative. Again, qualitative is bar and by, here histogram, stem, leaf display and by chart and so on. This is a quantitative variable. Suppose we summarize the given raw data set on the quantitative variable. Okay, I think I will discuss this flowchart in next session. Next, I move on to the main topic of today. So, qualitative and quantitative variable. So already we saw variable is a property that takes different values. According to the value, you can split the variable into two types. This is a primary type of variable. First one is qualitative, second one is quantitative. Name itself says what is qualitative variables and what is quantitative variables. So quantitative variables depends or shows that variable carries some numerical value. Qualitative means non-numerical value. So the quantitative and qualitative variable is a primary variable, as well as you can find this type of variable is very, 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 very easy. So quantitative means, already I told, is one that varies in amount, whereas qualitative varies in different. Suppose, for example, speed of riding, intensity of, level of illuminations, level of intelligence, level of speaking speed. These are all called quantitative. Scoring marks, how many equipments in the laboratory, how many peoples we meet, what is the sample size, what is the population size. These are called quantitative. So for example, you can go with the taxi. The taxi is also variable, but the speed of taxi is quantitative. So this is a quantitative and qualitative data. So using this qualitative and quantitative, you can go with the different type of methods if you want to get the results. So now, what is qualitative data variable? Quantitative, already I told, is only one thing. Qualitative is nothing but numbers. In qualitative variable is categorical variable. This categorical variable is a categorical variable is a discrete variable or a classification variable or qualitative variable. So we have 4 different variables for a single name. According to the authors, we can use any name for it. Here I use that categorical variable is nothing but qualitative variable. So qualitative variable can be splitted into 4 different things. First one is nominal variable. Yesterday, ma'am shows SPSS environment. In this SPSS environment, she showed the scales. So when she showed the scale, we have nominal and ordinal. Okay, so nominal variable and ordinal variables, and trichotomous variable and polycotomous. So what is the nominal and what is ordinal? Nominal variables, these 2 categories which are not instant order. Classification of values of this variable type is based on equality or sameness or difference. This is nominal. A nominal variable doesn't actually source measurement. Rather, it names the characteristics of subgroups. Suppose mode of contact the meeting would have values like online or offline, or if we want to online means in which portal you can use, and so on. So example for a nominal variables is like gender, nationality, states, districts. These are all called nominal variables. Ordinal variables means these also have 2 or more categories, but they can be ordered or ranked by some element. Consequently, a category can be said to be greater or less than other. Suppose if you want to say this doll is tall than this doll, but how the height is measured. Another example is for scoring. Scores in test papers. The level of income. These are called ordinal variables. Dichotomous, tie in the sense, die in the sense two. So yeah, dichotomous variable may have similar features of nominal variables in terms of not having instinct orders. This is extinct order. For example, gender. The categories are like to male or female. We have two different gender. Another example is a variable like the set of staff whose subset would be junior staff and senior. So here we have only given two choices. That set contains only two choices. Either he is in senior staff or in junior staff. Okay. Next, for example, another example is according to the test mark, he is pass or fail. He got more mark, high mark or low mark. So your category contains, your subset contains only 2 points. These are that. Suppose if we select he is passed, again that dichotomous variable can be splitted into so many variables, that is called so many attributes, that is called polycotomous variable. So these variables have more than two categories of subsets, more than two categories. Example, set of all brilliant peoples. Set of all brilliant peoples. So here there is no scale at all. Just we give a standard. If a person is treated as a brilliant, he can say the answer within 5 minutes for that particular question. Suppose some boy answered the same question for 6 minutes, he is also brilliant, but not in advanced, not in high level. So high, moderate, low. So we have 3 categories of subsets for measuring the brilliantness of students in particular class. This is called polycotomous. Suppose we assume pass and fail in dichotomous. Suppose your student get pass mark. Again, we can go with more than 2 attributes. That is, if he is pass, he maybe get distinction, first class, second class, and third class. This is called polycotomous. So these are the types of categorical variables. Whereas the quantitative variable is nothing but the numerical variable. It contains the numerical one. Already I told what is discrete variable, that is a qualitative. In qualitative variable tells the features of the variable. Qualitative, the features also marked by the qualitative. Yeah, this thing is super. Honey is nice. How much that go to quantitative? How that comes under qualitative? So next, continuous variable. The name continuous is there is no stopping point. There is no cut point. There is no limitation. Limitation in the sense within that interval. Continuous variable can be measured by scales such that the subsets or grouping are different from each or one another on the basis of quantity, degree, level, and amount. So they may vary basis of magnitude along an ordered quantity. Such variables can take an infinite number of values. That is, they can be assumed an unbounded range of values along a specific continuum. That is nothing but this is comes under the quantitative variable. This is continuous variable. A continuous variable in the sense you can take any variable within a certain interval. We can't say this number, a single number is continuous variable, not like continuous variable takes place in any particular interval. It may be open interval or may not be, or maybe closed interval. But the continuous variable lies in the interval. So next, this continuous variable divided into two classes. The first one is interval variables and second one is ratio variables. The first one is interval variables and second one is ratio variables. So what is interval variable and what is ratio variable? An interval variable can be measured along a quantum in a scale. Quantum in a scale. Its subset have a numerical values. Suppose we can talk of the size of the interval between the subset of interval variable. The feature of the rank ordering can be found in this type of variables. For example, temperature. Temperature 101, 100. This is an example of interval variable. So it lies between these two, these one. Equal intervals on scale typifying equal amounts of attribute being measured. For example, the difference between 70 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius or same as between 70 degree Celsius and 40 degrees Celsius. Interval variables do not have true or absolute zero. A reading of 0 Celsius does not indicate a complete lack of temperature. Next one is ratio variable. Ratio variable பாப்பா நான் ஒரு செஷன்ல இருக்க முடிச்சிட்டு நான் கூப்பிடுறேன் சார் மறந்துட்டேன். A ratio variable is first and foremost an interval variable, but not all interval variable or ratio interval. For example, temperature is also the continuous variable, but if we can give the ratio. But this temperature is an interval variable, but not ratio. But ratio variable have features of magnitude and order. In addition, a residue variable has an absolute or true 0 point examples. Height, weight, speed, walking speed, weight. So these are all comes under this ratio variable. Next, independent and dependent variable. What is independent and what is dependent? Suppose consuming ice cream causes fever. Consuming ice cream is dependent variable, but fever is an independent variable. Because of consuming ice cream, it causes the fever. So this is the difference between independent and dependent variable. This dependent and independent variable is maximum used in relationship, that is a functional relationships. Because in this functional relationship, one variable acts as dependent and another variable acts as the independent. In a mathematical way, we can tell one curve or one straight line, it may be differ or it may be lapse on their own path by some other circumference or by some other variable. So according to that variable, our curve goes with wrong path. So that is the dependent. Our path y equal to 4ax or y equal to 4, that is dependent, which makes this difference is called independent variable in mathematical sense. Here also, such suppose we want to take some effect in your research. If you want to get some effect in your research, you can use this dependent and independent variable. The manipulated variable, that means the causing, the consuming that ice cream, that is a manipulated variable. It referred to so many independent variables, while the variable which expected to affected by manipulation is called independent. Always the independent variable is an input variable. It typifies the presumed cause, and under the sum of the criterion, the outcome variable comes with some effect or some consequences. So its value depends on some other variable. That's why the variable is called dependent variables. So your dependent variable is a output variable. So suppose independent, already I told, an independent variable is an input variable which casts in part in total a particular outcome. Like SOR method, those who study psychology, SOR variable or SOR method is very familiar. That is a stimulus, organize, response. You have so many experimental things depends on this method. When we give some stimulus, the particular object organize the stimulus thing based on the event, or based on the stimuli, that object react. That is called response. For example, Pavlov's dog experiment.
Hello.
So when we talk about this independent and dependent variable, just can cross this SOR method, that is stimulus, organized, and response. Here, stimulus is a dependent. Sorry, a stimulus is an independent. Organize or organizer is a manipulated. Next, the response is the dependent variable. So response depends on the stimulus. When we give a correct stimulus, your organizing is correct, then your response is correct. So this dependent and independent variable maximum used in functional relationship. This is the major assumption among researchers and statisticians. However, there are instances in which what they perceived as the independent variable eventually turns out to the dependent variable. For example, study habits could be designated as the independent variable, while academic performance is conceived as a dependent variable. But your academic performance depends on your study habits. Is it? But that's why the study habit would be designated as an independent variable, while the academic performance is conceived as a dependent variable. Conversely, the incidence of failure in the examination can either spur a student to study harder or redesign to fact giving up hoping in doing better in subsequent examination. So here the study habit, even though considered as an independent variable, the effect or consequences of that variable organizing reflect in academic performance. So it also possible that there would be some other unidentified causes behind identified causes. Unidentified cause in the sense the teacher couldn't know the student have good study habit or not, but that unidentified cause is identified by the result. Okay, so this is called a dependent and independent variable. Next I'm going to next one, that is the extraneous and confounded variables. So what is extended and confounded variables? Now, already we saw dependent and independent. Now we are called extraneous and confounded variables. Suppose all other variables that may mask the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable. That is called extraneous variable. Extraneous variable may directly affect the dependent variable or may combine with the independent variable to produce an effect. Again, I told extraneous variable may directly affect the dependent variable or may combine with the independent variable to produce an effect. Therefore, extraneous variable must be controlled so that the experimenter can determine whether the dependent variable changes in relation to variation in the dependent variable. It comes under the supervised study. So several other factors operating in a real life situation may affect changes in the dependent variable. These factors not mentioned in the study may increase or decrease the magnitude or strength of the relationship between independent and dependent variable. But this variable, that is astronomers variable or relevant in nature and experimental studies, they belong three major types. First one is organismus variable, situational variable, and then sequential variable. The subject related to the variable include age, sex, intelligence, personality, or organismic variable. The situational variable include environmental variable. The environmental variable operating in experimental settings, that is noise, temperature, humidity, and the variable related to the experimental task. The sequence related variables deal with sequence effect. They arise when participants in experiments are required to be tested in several conditions. So export to many conditions may result in adaptation, fatigue, or practice effect, which if allowed to operate may make the result different to interpret. So next one is the confounding variables. Confounding variables is a variable one that varies with independent variable. While doing a study, if we are not careful, then two variables may get combined so that the effect of one cannot be separated from effect of other. This is called confounding. Suppose if you conducted a study of effect of television viewing on perception of violence, and experimental group contained only adults, whereas controlled group only adults. The age of participants would be confounded with independent variable. So confounding makes the conclusions of study doubtful. It is therefore necessary that effort should be made to unconfound the variables. So I want to explain this dependent, independent, and extraneous variable in causal relationship. Okay, just I want to go to one. I want to just say one thing. Smoking. This is independent variable. Okay, but this assumed cause, we should have a assumed effect. That is any disease. This is caused by this smoking. This is dependent variable. This dependent variable comes from this independent variable. But what is the factor in between this? What is the factor in between this? So how we affect this relationship, that is the cause of smoking, the relation between this independent variable and that dependent variable. So number of people used to smoke, but few of them affected by some disease. So what is the cause? The affected persons affected by some disease. The first one is, it may be because of age of the person. It may be because of low level of immunity. 1 minute. Immunity. Low level immunity, or for a chain smoker, that is duration. Or food habit. These are all the causing factor. Now I listed only 4 for this example. So these are all the causing factor in between this independent variable and this dependent variable. So the relationship between the smoking and some disease, you may affecting this relationship. Such a number of cigarettes or amount of tobacco smoked every day, it is affecting this relationship. That means a relationship between independence, this dependent variable. So this is the relationship. So these factors are called extraneous variable. So it may be a factors or it may be dependence. So in between the independent variable and dependent variable, the affecting causes, that is nothing but your extraneous variable. Okay. But whereas the confounding variable, is always in the chaosing stage. We can't say there is an independent, it depends on this independent variable, or it depends on this variable. Is one that varies with the independent variable. That is the confounding variables. So next, active and attribute variables. What is active and attribute? That variable manipulate on some event is called active variable. Suppose rewarding the students. That reward may be a positive or negative. Positive in the sense, praising words, give some prize, give some amount, give some appreciation. This is called a positive reward. Negative reward, punishment. Okay. Again, the active variable examples or teaching methods, pedagogy, methodology. We wouldn't follow the same methodology to teach all the subjects. So we could find different types of methods to teach the students. Next, attribute variable. What is the attribute variable? This attribute variable is that variable which is not measured by the experimenter. It is not manipulated, but it measured by the experimenter. Variables that are human characteristics like intelligence, aptitude, socioeconomic status, and education, and material, how many you have, Next, need energy or need material for getting achievement. These are all the example for attribute variables. Just like attribute, which is measured but not manipulated. The word attribute is more accurate enough when used within animated object or reference. Organization, institution, groups, population, geographical areas have attribute. Organizations are variably productive. Groups differ in cohesively. Geographical areas vary widely in resources. So in this area, you can use this attribute variable. So this is the difference between attribute variable and active variable. Apart from, we have several variables. That is a moderating variable, intervening variable, and then so many variables you have. What is a moderating variable? This variable that has a conditional influence, which is strong enough to modify the original relationship between dependent and independent. So moderate. Okay. Next, intervening variable, in the sense there's some complex causal relationship. This variable gives some link between dependent and independent. So sometimes it may named by some other variable name. So these are the main variables which are used in research, particularly social science. If you have any doubt and clarification, you can ask me.